Is your MacBook screen loose and wobbly like this? If so, I'm going to teach you how to fix it. So the problem you're going to fix is some loose screws. This is a fairly easy repair, and before we take the laptop apart, let me help you visualize where the hinges are on your Mac. Your wobble on your screen can either be coming from the 3 screws where the hinge attaches to the laptop body right here, or they can be 2 loose screws holding the hinge to the screen itself right here under this black plastic cover. And this is approximately how long the hinge is under this spot. And of course there's one corresponding one on the other side. I will be tightening the screws on the screen itself, which takes a little bit more time to get to them, but if the hinge is loose where it attaches to the body of the laptop, the repair will be a little easier. I'm going to be working on a 2009 MacBook Pro, but pretty much all other MacBooks use the same type of hinge, so you should be able to follow along and figure it out if yours is a little different. The tools I'm going to be using is a refrigerator magnet and this helpful tool set here. It has about every bit you'll ever need to work on MacBooks, iPhones, or other electronics. I'll put a link to this set in the description below in case you want to check it out. So get your screwdriver and get all the screws out along the perimeter and use the magnet to hold them. Next, you want to pop off the back cover of the Mac, and then you want to disconnect the power, find where your battery connects into the logic board, and use your fingernail and just pop it off just like that. Next, you want to disconnect the screen cable. You can see there's a little tab there you can grab with your fingers and lift it up. There's a metal bracket that you can grab with both sides and just work it off slowly. You don't want to yank too hard. Just work it out, rock it out, just like that. Next, there's a bracket that is kind of covering the 3 hinge screws that we want to get to, so we're going to take that out. I just loosened this little one in the front here, and then there's 2 holding down the bracket. I'll speed up the film, and so you can see it's pretty easy. Just take it out and put the screws on your magnet. After you pull the cable out of the way, you might have to pull off this little black piece that's covering over the hinge screws. You'll need a T9 bit to turn those screws. If this is the spot where your hinge is loose, all you have to do is tighten these screws to get rid of the wobble and then put your computer back together. But if it's not the problem, take the outer screws out and leave the inner one there and do the same on the other side. Now let's work on the other side of the MacBook. We have to remove this speaker right here that has these wires connected to it. First you have to disconnect that cable there, and then there's a screw right here. We're going to take out these screws on this corner. In order to get enough slack to pull that speaker out to get to the hinge, I have to disconnect this little cable here, and that will give me enough wiggle room, carefully pulling out the wires so I can get access to the hinge. Again, just take out the outer screws and leave the inner one in place. Then what you want to do is flip your MacBook on its edge, on its side, like this, and you want the screen to be a little bit above 90 degrees when you lay it on its side. And here's where you're going to take out that last screw on the hinge, because what we're going to try to do is not let the screen fall down. So you want to hold it here, pinch it with your fingers. So while you take that screw out and then also take out the bottom screw, make sure you have a good grip on the screen itself as well as the body of the MacBook. To show you a little bit easier, I turned my computer here and got the last screw out with my right hand, and I'm holding it with my left hand. So when you have the screen free, no matter how you're holding it, you want to have a good grip and just work that screen off the lip of the body. Carefully lay down your Mac on a table, and this will allow you to easily work on this spot where the other hinge attaches to the screen. You can see here it's loose, and so we got to get to those 2 screws. What you want to do is grab the black plastic and push it to the right, and it should pop straight up. Here's a good picture of what that wobble looks like. You can see the 2 screws there that are loose. We're going to need a T6 to be able to tighten those back up to get rid of our wobble. And since you've gone to this much trouble to take everything apart, make sure that the other side is tight. We fixed the wobble, and so now you need to put everything back in the order that you took it apart. It should be fairly self-explanatory, but one part I do want to highlight is how to put the screen back onto the body of the MacBook. So I believe to make your life a whole lot easier, you want to put the body face down on the edge of a table or the edge of your lap. Make sure the wires are out of the way and get your hinges set just like this, and you should be able to rock it in. Remember not to pinch any wires. Rock it down under that lip, and then just put the middle screw in on both sides. So you're going to just keep those tight for a second so you can close the MacBook lid, and then once you do, put it on a flat surface and loosen those two screws. And then you want to check each corner to make sure it's sort of factory perfect, the lid with the body, and then go tighten those screws back down one more time. Then of course add your other two screws. And when you come to this corner here with the speaker, you might need to use your tweezers. I didn't mention that earlier with my tools. But you can grab that grounding clip. Make sure none of the wires are getting pinched. And everything should sit in there like it did when you first found it. And all you have to do is put all the screws back in and reconnect all of the cables. And at the end you should have this, no more wobble. Please subscribe to my channel if you like what you've seen, and if you have any questions, put them in the comments section below. I would love to hear from you.